Hello guys, welcome back to GPU Tester. Today we're going to be benchmarking the RTX 2060 Super and seeing how it performs in 2024. You can see the specifications of the card on the screen right now, and I'll also show you the test bench I'll be using. First game we have on the list is Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
Enemy soldier incoming.
In this game, the 2060 Super does decently, however there are quite a few drops below the 60 FPS mark. It gets an average FPS of 62, however the 1% lows are 37 and the 0.1% lows are 27.
Loadout drop headed your way.
Especially when you're dropping from above and looking at the city, the FPS drops quite a bit. While you're actually in the game and not respawning, the FPS doesn't generally drop from 50. Next game we have on the list is Apex Legends. We are using the max settings except the spot shadow detail is set to high. Apex Legends runs very good on the 2060 Super and we get over 100 FPS average. The 1% lows are also pretty good at 87, however the 0.1% lows are pretty bad. However, these stutters are not because of the card, it's the game itself that's causing these stutters. The average FPS and the 1% lows drops when there are effects on the screen, as you can see right now. Overall we got an average FPS of 99 with the 1% lows of 52 FPS. Next game we're gonna play is Starfield. We're using the medium quality preset and we've turned off FSR, that the game auto applies whenever you set a preset. In terms of average FPS, we get 38 FPS in Starfield with the 2060 Super, the 1% lows coming in at 30 FPS and the 0.1% lows coming in at 19. We can see that the 2060 Super is struggling at 1440p. Although that is to be expected, considering it's a card from 2018 and that too it's a mid-range card from 2018. That said, if you lock your FPS to 30, you can get a decent experience with the 2060 Super. In Counter-Strike at 1440p highest quality settings, the 2060 Super does really well to maintain its performance. Counter-Strike 2 is an esports title, which means it's not very demanding when it comes to GPUs or CPUs. In most cases you will be limited by your CPU, not your GPU. However, in this case, our CPU is strong enough to handle and push the 2060 Super to its limits.
I planted the bomb. Bomb has been planted. Terrorists win.
Running Star Wars Jedi Survivor at 1440p high quality settings, we get decent performance again. From a mid-range card that released back in 2018, This kind of performance is expected. We get an average of 38 FPS with 1% lows coming in at 29 FPS. We can lock the FPS to 30 to get a more consistent and better experience.
There's the eye. Still drifting. That's the spirit, BD. We'll get it.
You want to get a bite after a shift? Sure, I could go for a turbo dog. I heard they make those out of straw.
Next on the list is Hogwarts Legacy. We're again using the high quality preset at 1440p. Hogwarts runs slightly better than Star Wars and we get an average FPS of over 50 FPS with 1% and 0.1% lows coming in at 37 and 33 respectively. The overall experience isn't bad and I won't mind getting 50 FPS average in a single player title.
Revelio. Levioso.
Running a Plague Tale Requiem at 1440p high quality settings, we see the 2060 Super struggle a bit, with it managing just over 30 FPS most of the time. However, there are no dips below 30 and the 1% and 0.1% lows stay above the 30 FPS mark. The average FPS is 41, which means locking your FPS to 30 might be a better idea than playing unlocked FPS.
Maybe we could ask someone.
You're sure you remember where this forest is?
Next on the list is Dying Light 2 and we'll be playing at medium settings at 1440p. If you're wondering why we are not playing at high or ultra high quality, that's because the 2060 Super is not a card that is suited for it. It's much more suited for medium quality presets in 2024. Back to the numbers, the 2060 Super actually does pretty well considering its age, and it gets an average FPS of 56 with 1% lows coming in at 45. Next on the list is Forza Horizon 5. We are playing at 1440p and will be using the extreme quality preset. Forza Horizon 5 is actually a very well optimized game, and you can see that by the fact that it gets over 60 FPS average on the 2060 Super at 1440p. The overall experience is actually pretty great and I wouldn't mind playing it at these settings. Next on the list is Cyberpunk 2077 with the Phantom Liberty expansion installed. We're using the high quality preset at 1440p. In Cyberpunk, we get an average FPS of 39 with the 1% lows coming in at 34. Although these numbers aren't that great, I think it's a pretty good job considering how good this game looks. Next game on the list is Need for Speed Heat. We're running it at 1440p like all the games, and we're using the ultra quality preset. In Need for Speed, we get an average FPS of 72 and the 1% lows are 51. And if any card can run a game at 60 plus FPS, it's gonna be a great experience. And as you've probably guessed, 60 FPS is a benchmark for me to call something a great experience. That said, I think this is an awesome experience, and if you want to play Need for Speed Heat, 2060 Super does the job amazingly.
Shit, I think I know this cop! Ah, cute! I'm serious, he's bad news!
We scored big on this one. There's some prime hunting here.
Next game on the list is God of War. We're using the ultra quality preset at 1440p. In God of War, the 2060 Super manages an average FPS of 56 and the 1% lows are 45. I've repeated this over and over again, but I'll say it one more time. As long as the average FPS in a single player title is above 50 and the 1% lows are generally above 40, I think it's a good experience. Next and final game on the list is Spider-Man. In Spider-Man, the 2060 Super does an amazing job, getting an average FPS of 81 and the 1% lows come at 60. That is actually a great experience and I cannot complain about it. This will also bring our benchmark to a close. I hope you enjoyed the video. Do let me know in the comments what you thought of it, and I'll catch you in the next one.